Wait a minute. Let me see if this is working. Interesting. I have never had it to where. Let me see if I'm streaming, guys. Give me 1 second. I am streaming. Look at that. Yeah, so I went to go stream on this platform that I use that duplicates the stream and shares it to my YouTube channel as well as my Facebook channel. And so what ended up happening is right when I went live, or at least clicked to go live, it told me, as well as my Facebook. It told me that that my Facebook account was disconnected and that I needed to reconnect it. So luckily, it was able to reconnect it in the middle of the stream. So that way YouTube was already going, and then it just had to connect Facebook. But anyway, we're good, guys. I wanted to take this opportunity because I just saw a Facebook post. And guys, I am honestly, like, you know, you guys heard of fake media, fake news. What if I told you it's happening on both sides, ladies and gentlemen? What if I told you that it's happening on both sides? This has got to stop. It doesn't make it any better when Christians do it versus when the liberals or, you know, the snowflakes do it, right? It does not make it any better. And so it's a huge word that has been floating around nowadays, draconian measures. Draconian measures. Now, it's a strong emphasis in order to try to substantiate a position. But I just clicked on an article. I'm going to share it with you all. We're going to read it together. And at face value, I thought to myself, good night. This is not good. But then as I read the article, I'm like, come on. They just did it no different than, you know, it's just crazy. I'm going to show it to you guys. We're going to read it together. You guys ready? Who wants to read it with me? Huh? Give me a comment. Tell me you're ready. All right. Here we go. If I can get this thing to click. There it is. Here we go. This is going to blow your mind, hopefully, as it blew mine. But we'll let you decide. Here we go. Nazi-like measures. Kansas City orders churches to turn over membership lists. All right. So I began to read further on, and what ended up happening is it specifically says Kansas City Mayor Quinton Lucas, a Democrat, has ordered pastors to turn over the names, addresses, and phone numbers of anyone who enters church houses. And then it says, never in my wildest dreams could we have imagined Nazi-like measures designed to surveil, track, and spy upon what was once a free American people. Liberty Counsel founder Matt Staver said, well, listen, I want to tell you first and foremost, before I go any further, ladies and gentlemen, let me share with you one key emphasis. I thank God for Liberty Counsel because they stand and fight and wage war on behalf of religious freedoms. That is completely separate from what I'm about to share with you right now. And so let's go there again. Is this thing scrolling properly? Because it doesn't look like it scrolled with me. Let me see here. Yeah, it's scrolling. Okay, good. So if we read on, right, and it goes on to say, and you go to the bottom, the city's order states, all right, this is, guys, this is where it is a big deal. Like, this is all of the stuff that the people have said in response to what the city's order states. But now we're actually going to read what the city's order states, okay? This is why this stuff is so huge, folks, because I'm telling you, oh, my goodness. People have been attacking me and being like, from a deliverance minister, you are a fool and you are, leading the people incorrectly. Well, let me tell you something. As a deliverance minister, I'm supposed to be used by the Lord to deliver people of false mindsets, deceptions, delusions, perversions, manipulations, all of these different things. And this is what I'm about to point out on this situation here, folks. The city's order states specifically religious gatherings, including but not limited to weddings, funerals, memorial services, and wakes of 10 persons inside or 10% of a building occupancy, whichever is greater, and 50 people outside may resume, right? They're opening up, provided social distancing is maintained and event organizers maintain a record of attendees. Never in this city order does it state that there's a Nazi-like regime saying, I want to spy on your Christian organization. Guys, from a leadership and a governmental standpoint, this actually makes total sense. They're looking, it's wisdom to say, listen, if you're going to open up your gatherings, if you record the attendance, if we find out that there was an outbreak in your particular service, maybe that there was connected, then we can notify those people to go get tested. Like, guys, this is making total sense to me. Why is it all of a sudden like a stinking vapor to other people where they think it's some sort of Nazi regime tactic and people are using draconian measures, right? The word of the hour. Ladies and gentlemen, manipulation is manipulation. And as a deliverance minister, I'm supposed to call it like it is and call it out when it manifests. No different if it manifests in the heathen or the Christian. And I'm here to tell you today, ladies and gentlemen, this is why we have to sift through the crap that is circulating on the platforms of media, social media, and all of these different avenues, especially in a day and in an hour when people are easily emotionally charged. A reporter, even a Christian reporter, who puts a spin and a twist on a fact and manipulates it to project a scenario that's actually not really happening is no less demonic, folks, than if the news crew that you don't like puts a spin. It is no less demonic. I am sick of crawling into a hole because people don't like my message. I could care less anymore about what people think, because if this goes literally up over your head, I can't help you. But if you're willing to just take a gander at some, real, thorough, objective analysis of information, then you'll probably be in alignment with exactly what I'm presenting here, folks. This is manipulation, no matter which way you shake it, folks. This is what they did with the governmental order when they said that the governor of so-and-so, basically, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I read the order. on my social media platforms, and it was nothing like what people we're saying or putting a spin on it to mean, folks. And I'm here to tell you, guys, come on. We have got to get this together. And if you're recirculating this propaganda, then you're the issue that I'm addressing. Well, not you personally, right? But the things that we as people can manifest, right? Huh. So let's look at it again. I mean, for those who missed it, right? You go to the very beginning of the article. Nazi-like measures. Kansas City orders churches to turn over membership lists, right? At face value, I mean, you probably did what I did. And you look at that article and you're like, oh, no. Stand against, the government that tries to, well, when you read the article, you realize, wait a minute, something's going wrong here. This is a little bit off. And then you read it and it goes down to say, right, well, it says a lot of things. I mean, the person who wrote this article says that they're tracking, right, spying, surveilling on what was once a free American people. Come on. We are just no different than the whiny little kid that got sent to timeout by his parents and starts to throw a hissy fit, and to whine and complain and sits there and tries to tell mommy and daddy why it's so unfair and all these different things. Come on. This is not easy for anybody. There's a lot of challenging situations going on. I just talked with a police officer, a neighbor of mine who's a police officer, and he's talking about how they have food to feed the children because there are families out there that are hurting financially right now. They're struggling. It's a very real thing. And so, but at the same time, I also talked with somebody yesterday whose brother died from the coronavirus. I found out today that one of our friends tested positive for the coronavirus. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very real situation, and we're all in this together with the idea that if we shut off the opportunity for transfer, that we could potentially save lives. Now, granted, it's a messy system, and they've deployed a messy system, and there are holes in the foundation of what they've deployed. It is messy. I'm not arguing that. But dang, when you take things like this, and they've got titles that look like this from a, conservative Christian, I think he's a Christian. And the title says Nazi-like measures. The city orders churches like Nazis. They order them, he says. This is ridiculous. To spy on them, he says. To surveil, to spy on what was once a free American people, right? Oh my gosh, doesn't it just rip your heartstrings and make you real compassionate and want to stand up for the church? Well, that is until you get to the reality of the story. And it says at the very bottom, just in order to save their behinds, right? It says the city's order states, all right? It states none of what they just said it stated. Hello? It says nothing that they're supposed to turn over nothing. It says nothing about turning over the records. It simply says they're supposed to take records. To me, that's wisdom. Because if there's an outbreak and you've got records, you can notify your church. From a leadership standpoint, this makes sense. From a pastor's standpoint, I'm like, that's a great tool to have. Surely, oh, come on, man. Folks, enough is enough. We've got to stop being led by emotionalism, right? Disguised as, fighting for religious liberties and standing up for righteousness. Oh, no. That's not standing up for righteousness. Actually, no, that's going to the other side. That's crossing over into deception and manipulation and word twisting to try to paint a picture of something to look like nothing of what it actually is at the end of the day. They're actually opening up the church and saying, churches, you can go back to gathering, but if you do, we are asking you to keep a record of your attendance. Ladies and gentlemen, we have just crossed over into 2020. There are some ridiculous demonic spirits that are actually operating in this hour, and they're actually using Christians. And this is the type of garbage that we need to be delivered of. And so as a deliverance minister, hate me or love me, I'm going to release the truth. And I'm going to share some things that help us to stop getting caught up in emotionalism, folks. Come back down to a level playing field. Soundness of mind is our portion, ladies and gentlemen. Soundness of mind. And I don't know where my screen just went. But here, let me try this again. There we go. Anyway, nothing like what it proclaimed to be. Nothing like what it proclaimed to be. I want to encourage you guys. Is it this corner, right? Like and share this video. Because if you're like me and you're not necessarily picking sides, but you're actually on the side of truth and rightfully dividing those things that are circulating, go ahead and like and share this video. Because not enough people are circulating this truth. They're actually circulating the garbage that's further perpetuating the church not becoming delivered, but becoming in bondage to a spirit of rebellion where we're fighting our government, who is actually supposed to be, where we're. Why are we fighting people that are trying to help us? Because that's what I read in that city order. That's what I read, ladies and gentlemen. It says that they're saying, churches, we want to support you in going back out. Please do so. They didn't have to say that, right? But now they're saying, if you do have attendance of 10 or more, we'd like to ask you to keep an attendance. All right? Or maybe they ordered it. Who cares? It's logistics, folks. It's trying to control an out-of-control problem where they're trying to put some sort of parameters on it, which, I mean, from any leadership standpoint, it just makes sense. It just makes sense. All right, guys, that's my rant. Once again, listen, I'm not ranting just to rant. There's a purpose behind this, and I hope you can see what we're dealing with here. Bless you.